Welcome. Today we are going to be ranking Star Wars movies. It's me, Steven. Got the homie to the left,
Let's
Naaman.
go.
Let's go, dude. So we're both pretty huge Star Wars fans. We've seen like every single thing, and we cry over about every single thing that happens, bad or good.
Yep.
This thing behind me, I've been crying about it
That
for a
bothers
while. Yeah, it's very sad. This is what happened when Luke took Grogu. This is how he turned out. Oh, look at beautiful Ahsoka.
Look at beautiful Ahsoka and the
Beautiful Ahsoka.
Clone Wars spoiler.
Yeah, yeah. I was so confused. That's actually that scene. Order six.
Yeah, it's just
Six. Thinking 11. Yeah,
Yeah.
11. We're including Solo and Rogue One, and yeah. So I'm gonna start from 11, go all the way to 1. Do you want me to start? Do you want to start? How do you want to do this?
Because I mean,
You want me to start?
my opinion.
Okay, all right. So, this might be a killer here. This, like, honestly, I do like all Star Wars movies, so it makes it hard here. But there's some that I just don't like as much as others,
Yeah.
and there's some that I like parts, but
Mhm.
then other parts I'm like, really? That was really bad.
Yeah.
But episode 1 is my number 11.
Okay.
I do like it. I do like it. I'm not saying it's bad. I do like this movie. There's certain parts I don't like,
Mhm.
but then there's some of the best Star Wars in this movie, like that fight scene, Qui-Gon
Yeah.
versus Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul is so sick. Like pod racing with Anakin versus Sebulba is so hype. But then
Yes.
there's like the weird scenes with like Anakin and his mom, and just like Padme creeping on Anakin, and like I don't know. It's just there's things about it that I honestly just want to fall asleep during that movie until the end.
Yeah.
Like I do not like it.
Yeah, absolutely. I probably haven't watched that movie as recently as any other, just because I think it's kind of boring.
Yeah, it is.
Qui-Gon doesn't get enough. I mean, Qui-Gon, honestly, like, he's such a cool character.
Yes.
Like, they had to kill him off in order for Sidious not to be found, I guess. So I was like, you know what? I mean, that makes sense. Duel of Fates, obviously amazing. Best part.
Song ever.
Oh, it's so good. It's potentially one of the best parts of any Star Wars movie.
Yes.
Qui-Gon dying was sad, and pod racing, of course, is awesome. But there is just a lot of downtime that I honestly struggle to remember what happens, like, specifically. I can't remember the order of things in that movie, really. So, and
the battle at the very end is terrible. The one, if you remember, with the Gungans and those big giant blue balls, and they're fighting the battle droids, like that is, it's like sort of funny as like a kid, and it's still kind of funny, but it's just hard to watch, and it's just like, this isn't as epic as I want it to be.
Yeah, I just remember that they have the whole Gungan palace thing underwater, and I'm just what's happening here? Like,
that's so funny.
So I completely understand your number.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, my number 11, Last Jedi.
Oh, snap! Dropping big ones early.
Yeah, not a fan of that movie. I think the only redeemable scene or scenes is anything with Kylo. I think specifically the end, or end-ish, because the movie continues for another 30 minutes past the point where you would assume it would end with them killing Snoke. The movie just keeps going, and you're like, okay, well, I guess. I think Kylo killing Snoke, and then them defeating the Praetorian Guards, and then him still choosing to go to the dark side, and Rey being like, actually, like, no, please don't do that. I actually really like that part, but that's about it.
Me too. Yeah, that part was nice because it was shocking, and I feel like that doesn't happen too often in movies. Like, I feel like say Marvel, for example, I feel like everyone knows what's gonna happen, like in every movie. Like, I came into Infinity War kind of knowing everyone's gonna die, and then everyone's gonna come back in Endgame. And like, I guess for Last Jedi it was nice because I feel like no one really expected Snoke to die.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you're like, I wanted to know more about Snoke.
Yeah.
And then episode 9 comes in, they're like, no, Snoke was just a clone.
Yep.
even though you know that's not like what they had in mind. Like that's just multiple directors not talking to each other and just like being confused. And yeah.
And I think that's really the issue, is that J.J. Abrams had an idea, and then Rian Johnson came in and said, "Screw your idea. We're gonna do love story, weird thing."
Yeah.
J.J. had to kind of clean up the rest in
Uh-huh.
Skywalker, so it could have been a lot better. I mean,
Yeah, it should have just been one director, or just even them just talking to each other and like working on it together. Not because I'll get into it later. I'll get into it later. But my number 10, people are gonna hate me for this because I see all the time, or when I'm talking to people, that I feel like they don't know Star Wars too well. But man, I mean, maybe I'm hating on this too hard. I have watched this movie too many times, but I really struggle to like Rogue One that much. I have Rogue One at number 10.
Yes.
I don't know, something about that movie I just couldn't like get myself into. Like obviously it's a cool story because it's the first Star Wars, A New Hope. It's their crawl, and that's the story.
Yeah.
And everything, and we get really cool scenes. We get Vader in the hallway. That's probably like that's the coolest scene of like the new Star Wars movies, I think. But I couldn't find myself in it. I do like certain characters, but like I like the droid K2SO, but other than that, like I could not find myself getting into the movie, and like some of the characters are just weird to me.
And I agree with you, and I'm going to save my thoughts for further on in the list, because I've only seen that movie once, and there's a reason I didn't watch it again. We'll just say that.
I saw it like 5 times in theaters because I wanted to see Vader's hallway scene.
Exactly. Yep. I love that scene, and really briefly, I like what's it called? Scarif?
Yeah, Scarif. Yeah.
Place. I like that. I like the planet.
Yeah. Yeah, that was sick.
I'll save my other thoughts for later.
Okay, I do like some of the space battles. Those are sick. Like I think those are sweet. I don't know. I already knew the story. I do think it's pretty sad. Like I did cry during that movie, but other Star Wars movies are better. Other Star Wars movies are better.
I agree. So. I don't even remember the space battles. I just
watch it again. Watch it again.
Forgettable for me.
All right, what you got? What you got?
Phantom Menace.
Oh,
I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Just young Anakin. Oh, try spinning. That's a good trick.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like, I mean, I get that he's the chosen one, and I love that storyline of him being Qui-Gon saying, "Oh, he is the chosen one," and he knows. But I just think like there's too many coincidences for Anakin to destroy an entire separatist ship and not know what he's doing at all. Just like, no matter how high your midichlorian count is, you're not able to randomly guess and do all of this crazy stuff. So I just kind of took it out of it. I was just like, I don't know.
That's true. I didn't like that either. I was just, he put on the helmet and then he automatically knew every button in the ship.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, oh, great. That's sick. But
it's like the Jar Jar effect as well. Jar Jar just throws something and it blows up an entire thing. It's just like, I don't know, something's just off here. I just don't know.
Yep. All right, should I go on to number 9 here?
You know what? I'll say my number 9 just because it's Rogue One.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
So far we've had pretty similar rankings.
We have.
There's a lot of forgettable moments in Rogue One. I like the scene at the end where the blast comes and kills Jin, and I think it's Cassian. No, maybe is it? I like that scene. I like the beginning with the Death Troopers. Those
are sick.
I think the opening was good, but then I just forget a lot of what happens in between. I never wanted to rewatch it, so that's about it.
Yeah, no, it's a good movie, but it's just like I don't know. I can't. I don't even know what to say about it. I honestly just couldn't get into it too much.
Yeah,
that's all.
Exactly.
All right, my number 9. Your number 9 is Rogue One.
Yep.
Your number 11 was Last Jedi. My number 9 is Last Jedi. I think it's better than Rogue One. I found more enjoyment in Last Jedi than I did in Rogue One. I don't. I when I came out of the theater, first time I saw Last Jedi, I really liked it a
Really?
lot. Like I was kind of in shock. Maybe that's why. And I
Yeah.
like was confused and like had chills,
Mm-hmm.
crying when Luke died
Mm-hmm.
or Luke just faded away. I was like, is he still alive? At the time, I was like, maybe he just like went somewhere else. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I really liked it. And then the more I saw it, because I saw it a few times in theaters, the more I saw it, the more I hated it
Mm-hmm.
because I felt like, no, I didn't really hate it. I didn't hate it, but I just like the more I didn't like it. Like each time
Mm-hmm.
I gradually like didn't like it more and more,
Yeah.
and I think it's because the way it ended, to be honest, and how long it was. Like how
Yeah.
it just like did not need to be that long. It was like almost a 2 hour and 40-minute movie, and it could have easily just been 2:15, like a normal Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like there's just scenes that just like it's the part that bothered me the most is just like traveling through space
Mm-hmm.
so slowly and like First Order's just tracking them the whole
Yeah.
movie. Like we went nowhere. Like it made the universe seem so tiny, and I just it bothered me. And then the ending, the way it ended, I feel like um it didn't hype me up for episode 9.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was nothing
Yeah.
that like made me want to see episode 9
Mm-hmm.
after that. Like episode 7 left it on a cliffhanger with Luke
Mm-hmm.
Skywalker, made you want to see episode 8. That's why everyone went to go see episode 8. And then episode 9 just like, I mean, I guess that's fine because I mean, Empire Strikes Back kind of did the same thing too, but not really. Like
Well,
that
the
could like
Han in Jabba's
left.
palace, and so
Yeah,
Han,
that's
yeah.
true. But yeah, there's like legit nothing to look forward to in episode 9 there, and the way it ended, and Rey's and everyone's just on the ship. Like you don't know what's gonna happen. There's no theories to like come up with or anything.
Yeah.
Like that's what bothered me, I think.
And they killed it. I think The Last Jedi can just say, I think for one ground generalization you could say is missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
everything. They could have not killed off Snoke and it would have had that theory even without him being at the end of the movie.
Hmm.
But they kill off Snoke, and it seemed like Rian Johnson ended a movie like he ended that movie like he had just ended a trilogy. Like
Yes.
it was just
Yeah.
weird. It's like, why so abrupt,
Yeah. It didn't feel like it was part of a trilogy. Like it didn't even feel like episode 7 mattered
Yeah.
at all. And then Luke, that's the biggest missed opportunity. Like Luke being like only a hologram, or like when he's fighting,
Yeah.
uh,
Just
and
having
like
fun.
not even seeing him igniting the green. Like I feel like you need to save that for episode 9.
Yes.
Like even if you do kill Snoke, like I don't know, I would I even, and if Rey stays on the light side too,
Yeah.
like just make Kylo like ultra crazy bad in episode
Yeah.
9. Give him like a sick apprentice. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just all stuff that I wish we got.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to see Luke ignite the green, and even if he died in episode 9 as an old guy,
Yeah.
I want to see him do crazy things that Vader did in like Rogue One.
Well, and like you would think that Luke, even, I mean, I just feel like it's a cop out to write that he cut himself off from the Force, and that's why nobody can find him. Because if nobody can find him because he cut himself off from the Force, then why is there a map to find him?
Yeah,
Like,
that makes no sense.
Like, if he cannot be found because he cuts himself off, then why is there a map to find him? Like, it just, I don't really get it. I'm just like,
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I get why he would cut himself off, but the map doesn't make any sense. Like that, it doesn't line up. Like I feel like if you have a student like Kylo that turns to the dark side and like kills the whole Jedi Temple or whatever, I feel like Yoda kind of went into hiding. Like I feel like that makes sense. That way that like Luke went into hiding too, but like Yoda didn't leave a map.
Yeah.
Like Obi-Wan was like talking to Luke, telling him to go to Dagobah. Like
Yeah.
like they didn't think about anything.
They didn't plan it. Missed opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really why I didn't like it. And I'm gonna kind of segue here,
All
going
right, all right.
because our bottom three were all the same, just in different ways.
Yeah.
Number 8 for me was Rise of Skywalker.
Freak. Mine too. Mine too.
Bro, okay, I swear we didn't. I swear we didn't plan this ahead of time.
Yeah, we did not. We did not.
That's really funny. Rise of Skywalker, pretty much one of. I mean, I'd say probably the only scene that I really enjoy in that movie, and I'd say it's probably one of my favorites in all of Star Wars. Is the time where Rey's looking up at the lightning and she starts hearing the voices of the Jedi. I just love that scene. Like every time I watch it, I've probably seen that scene like over 15 times. I just get chills,
Yes.
when, especially just watching Rebels and having watched Clone Wars this summer. Hearing the voices of those characters in there just like made it so much better for me.
Yeah. No, that scene is incredible. Like seeing it in theaters for the first time, like trying to listen in to all the Jedi.
Yeah.
Like, who is that? Hearing Kanan's deep voice, Mace Windu's voice,
Yeah.
Obi-Wan, just everyone. That's crazy. I do like there is some bad things that happened. I think during that scene, that bothered me that she takes out. Like I don't care if she like has all the Jedi with her.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't be that easy to kill Palpatine with those two lightsabers.
Specifically that scene where she hears
Yeah.
not where she does anything after, because what happened after is stupid, in my opinion. Okay.
Yeah, no, but I do like a lot of that movie. I thought was really good. Like much better pacing than The Last Jedi. We actually went places. You know, we weren't stuck in a ship, bored to death like half of the movie, and then like an occasional good scene. Like most of the movie was actually good. I enjoyed it all, like pretty much all of it. Like even Kylo fighting the Knights of Ren, Rey like learning crazy power. Like I didn't mind that Rey used force lightning.
Well, see, I didn't mind that either, but what did bother me was that she was literally floating in the air, like 10 feet above the ground, and she's like, "Oh, I struggle with using the force," and she could just fly.
Oh yeah, at the very beginning.
Yeah, like
yeah.
What's going on here? Like,
yeah.
And they rebuilt a lightsaber somehow. I don't know how they did that.
Yeah.
And then there's just, I guess there's maybe logistical issues with me, like seeing there be treads on a speeder when 30 years before or whatever there were speeders that did not have treads and they could just levitate that are way more efficient. Why are there treads on a speeder in the sand? I'm just like, what's the? I don't really know. I was just like, maybe there's some logistical issues that took it off for me.
Yeah. Also, just like what is it? The scene where they are in the desert and they found that ship.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if that ship was there from like when Luke was looking for it, it probably wouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
When they were looking for it, it would have been like stripped for parts. Like Man in the Mandalorian first season, his ship was just left there by himself for like a little bit. Yeah. And it was already destroyed.
Yeah.
So, it's just like stuff like that just doesn't make it seem real. I don't like it doesn't bother me too much. It didn't take me out of the movie, but you just like think about that and you're like, I wish they would have thought about things more. I liked Lando. Lando's back.
Yeah. Bringing back Lando. I think the end scene where Kylo sacrifices himself, when I first watched it, I was like, wow, this is really dumb. Because I was like, Kylo's the last Skywalker. Why is he not the final character? Like, Rey is not a Skywalker. They have a Skywalker alive and well, and then he dies. It's like, I don't know. What do you think?
No, I totally agree. I was really like happy when I was like, oh dude, she died and he's alive. And then whatever he was doing when he brought her back, right when her eyes opened, I was like, that's so stupid that they brought her back. And then they kissed, and then he dies.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you kidding me? Like like let her go. Like he's a way better character. You can do so much more with him. Like TV shows and stuff with Kylo, like after. And I honestly like wouldn't want to watch a Rey show after what happens after episode 9. I'd want to Like even if it's like Kylo and Finn, because Finn was like confirmed force sensitive
Mm-hmm.
in that movie, even though he like hates his role in Star Wars and like bashing Star Wars and everything. But I do like that. I do like all the space battles on what is it, Exegol or whatever.
Yeah.
With the crazy lightning storm and stuff. I think that's pretty cool when they were on the horses and stuff. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It was a good movie. I really don't have many complaints except for like they ruined the build up to it, so it could have been a way better movie if you just would have actually like paid attention to everything you're doing 7, 8, and 9, and not just random like movies that don't feel all the way connected. Which they tried. JJ tried to connect it, but it still didn't feel complete. Like it didn't feel like a trilogy.
Yeah. My last critique will be bringing Palpatine back was not the best idea, but when Rian Johnson killed off Snoke, I mean, what other option do you really have? I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like there could have been something better still, like even without Palpatine. But I honestly don't mind that he came back. I just hate the way he died again.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I don't want to harp.
Yeah, it's true.
Go ahead.
All right. Number 7. My number 7 Star Wars movie is Attack of the Clones.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones. As a kid, this was my absolute favorite movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the Jedi's gathered in that huge battle arena.
Yeah.
Like coming out of nowhere, like lighting it up, fighting all the droids there.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing Yoda fight with his lightsaber for the very first time got me so excited as a kid.
Yes.
Like, and it didn't disappoint either. I don't know. That movie's just really good. The whole thing with the clones, like Jango, that Jango fight between him and Obi-Wan.
Oh man.
And the sound of Jango's ship when he drops a bomb is so cool. I don't know. I thought it was a really I really love this movie so much. I just think, crap. I don't know. I'm like, it's hard to rank it here because I feel like I have Force Awakens ahead of it, but I'm like, do I really like Force Awakens better than I like this movie? I'm not sure, but I'm gonna just stick with that ranking. But anyway, like I really do love this movie a lot, and it's probably one for me. One of the most rewatchable Star Wars, like easy to just watch because there's it's just easy to watch compared to all the other ones for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I have. But I like this movie. I just couldn't rank it higher than some of these other ones that I like more.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think, well, actually, what's funny is I have Force Awakens at 7. So.
Okay. Episode 7.
Yep, episode 7 for spot 7. Now we're getting into territory movies that I would say I enjoy watching. The other ones not as much, but Force Awakens, I enjoy it. I think there's a lot of good setup. The opening, we were talking about this a few days ago. I feel like opening is amazing. And Ray's theme is probably one of my favorite musical compositions ever. I love listening to it. I mean, I've listened to it in the car and just started like getting chills just listening to it.
It's that good.
Yep. I mean, I love the music for it. Where Rise of Skywalker was no new music and it was all old music, like reused. Force Awakens, completely new music, completely new like motifs and everything throughout. I think they set up Snoke to be powerful, and I liked that. Regardless of what they did after, I think Force Awakens is pretty good. I like Finn, that he held a lightsaber, and even though he lost, he hit Kylo.
An injured Kylo.
Yeah, I mean that's a bit of a logistical issue. You see Chewie blast stormtroopers with that thing, and Kylo just takes it. I don't know how that happens, but you know,
stormtrooper armor has just been proven to not be actual armor in the movies. It legit does nothing at all.
Exactly. And he even Han shoots the ground with it and it creates an explosion and knocks him back. How did Kylo?
That must have been a pretty bad injury.
Yeah.
or he should have been dead. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably one of my only gripes with the movie. Yeah, I think it's pretty
Yeah.
solid. That's
All
fine.
right, so I have Force Awakens at number 6, so I'm just gonna
Yeah,
talk about it
yeah,
too.
you're right.
Um, so I did really like this movie. I love this is the first, like, this is like almost like not the perfect, but like pretty much the perfect movie to start the sequel trilogy. I
Mm-hmm.
think like everything, like you said, the beginning of the movie, like with Kylo entering the village, and then I like the comedy between him and Poe, like
Mm-hmm.
talking, like you talk first, I talk first.
Yeah.
I don't know, that like Star Wars comedy, it just felt like Star Wars like immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole breaking out of the base,
Yeah.
um, just like stealing a TIE fighter was so sick.
It's sick.
Uh, but I don't know, I really love this movie. I wish like I don't know. There's some parts for me that were just really boring. I don't know why. When I rewatch it,
Mm-hmm.
the whole everything that happens with like Maz Kanata and kind of before that,
Yeah.
and like what is it, those big monsters, that thing,
Oh,
the
the Ranthars. Yeah.
yeah, those things. I didn't like that scene like at
Mm-hmm.
all.
Yeah.
I wish they could have done something else. Like I know like the movie can't be perfect, but just little things I don't like about it. But I did love Rey the most probably in this movie, and I didn't really like Kylo too much in this movie. I
Mm-hmm.
think Episode 8 is what made me love Kylo.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more his movie, and this one's more
Mm-hmm.
Rey's movie, and then Episode 9 is just Rey's movie again.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I don't know. I do love this movie. I love Rey's scene pulling that lightsaber out of the snow is like gave me chills, like insane.
Mm-hmm.
I wish Finn was for like the actual Jedi, because I
Mm-hmm.
love the way he uses the lightsaber and
Yeah.
everything. But yeah, I really loved the movie. I don't know. I feel like I'm just rambling on, but I like the movie a lot.
Yeah, I think one more thing before I say my six about that movie is that, as like you said, as the beginning to a trilogy, I think it's a really good movie. Like it
Yeah.
sets up a lot, and I think it executes pretty well as well.
Hmm.
I think Kylo's the most menacing in this movie. Like I feel like throughout the other movies, he's more good than this movie. He's just
Yep.
killing people, and he's kind of just
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna torture Poe. I mean, I don't know. I just liked his dark side in that movie. I guess, unfortunately.
Yeah. I feel like after he killed his dad, Han Solo, I feel like he got very conflicted, and I feel like at Episode 8 and 9, he's just fighting between light and dark. This movie, he's just kind of, I'm evil. I want to prove to Snoke I'm a bad boy, but he's not. Yeah.
Moving on here, I have Solo at 6. So I think
Oof.
that's the end of the Disney movies for me.
Dang.
I like Solo. I watched it and I was like, you know what? I think there were some questionable choices, but overall I enjoyed it. It was fun. Definitely more fun than I think a lot of the other movies.
Yeah,
Um,
I did.
I liked that they gave the backstory for everything. Like they gave him the Kessel Run in that movie. They gave him uh, weird thing here. I thought that bringing back Maul was a weird decision, but
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I haven't really. When I watched the movie, I hadn't seen Clone Wars yet, so I wonder if that was also part of it because I didn't really know Maul was alive, confirmed or anything.
Hmm.
So I mean, that's really about it. I just really enjoyed it. It was good.
I'd say go back and watch it because I feel like it makes a little bit more like sense when you go back and watch it like that. But I'll save some of my thoughts for when I have it
Okay.
ranked.
Yeah.
But is that all you got for Solo?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
I think I can't really speak on it too well just because I hadn't seen Clone Wars before.
Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm gonna go to my number 5. It might shock you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Return of the Jedi is my number 5.
I understand that.
Yeah, I do really love this movie, and I love going back to watch it. Like, honestly, the space battle, or just like blowing up the Death Star, Lando and Neum Num going in there and just blowing it up, and their celebration is just like, it's the best ending you could have to a Star Wars.
Yep, no, yeah.
Like the best. I think the thing, I don't think it's better than some of the other movies I have, but I do think it's the best ending um that we could have had for that trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly, I do think it's a perfect movie. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing I really hated. Like I do get a little irritated with some of the Ewok scenes,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, I'm like, the movie wouldn't be the same without the Ewoks. Like,
Yeah.
and without the weird like worshiping C-3PO and all that. And
Yeah.
um, I love Luke like talking to Vader and like just like getting inside his head, like you were once a Jedi, and just like messing around with him, and like he's not scared of him at all. I do love all that stuff. Palpatine, like
Yeah.
being crazy evil. I don't really know. I feel like I haven't seen this movie in a minute, but I love all the stuff with Boba Fett,
Yeah.
getting tossed in the Sarlacc pit,
For a little
and
bit,
then
he was doing anything.
yeah, and then I think it's a perfect movie. But I still have it at 5 because I think the other ones might be a little bit more perfect.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm gonna go ahead on number 5 and say Attack of the Clones is here for me.
Oh, I
Wow.
forgot.
So the reason I say this is because like I think I mean, a lot of people say the dialogue's really cringy in this movie, and Anakin is just like whiny and he's acting out and all this.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think about it, in like the overall context of Star Wars, I think it introduces some cool characters. Like you get to see Geonosians, who are pretty cool in my opinion,
Yeah.
like bug sentient things. You get to see a lot of Jedi for the first time fighting droids, and you get to see them in the Clone Wars show, obviously, but that's the only time you get to see them in the movies, really. Besides Kit Fisto and the other two that went to fight Palpatine or Revenge of the Sith. You get to see Dooku actually doing something.
Yeah, Dooku was sick.
Dooku's awesome. Yoda fighting, obviously. There's just a lot of cool things that I think, and I mean, of course, in my opinion, Across the Stars is the best love theme ever written.
Yes.
For anything.
But that scene is cringy.
It depends on the scene, because I think the scene where they're getting married, I like. The scene where they're in the field, not as much.
Yeah, when they're rolling in the field.
Yeah, that's
or when he's like passing her the pear and cutting it.
It's just kind of weird, yeah.
I think it's funny though. Like I'm just thinking back, I'm like, yo,
yeah.
It's like it. I'm sure some people like it, but I just couldn't do it. I'd laugh.
When I've gone back and rewatched it a few times, and I'm like, you know what? This is kind of like I think what George Lucas is going for. He said he's going for like a Shakespearean operatic sort of writing. So when I think of it in that context, I'm like, well, if Shakespeare were writing this, would he be writing, like all of this sort of dialogue? And so when I think about it like that, I'm like, well, maybe it's more bearable. But if you take it at face value, it's very cringy. Like, I don't like singing. It's coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere.
I mean, that created a lot of memes, so that's a great line.
Great, so
yeah, for the memes, that scene's great.
Yes.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think just seeing all the Jedis whip out their lightsabers is just what like Star Wars needed that scene.
Yeah.
Like I really do feel like that like brings back so many memories, and like that'll forever be like one of my favorite scenes. And like even when Mace Windu like puts his lightsaber right in front of Dooku, and he's like, this party's over.
Yeah.
Like that scene's sick. And when he chops off Jango's head, dude, that is so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's
like I didn't even care about Jango that much, to be honest. I was like, when he died, I was like, yo. I mean, a little sad.
Yeah.
But
then you see Boba, and it's like, oh.
yeah. True.
What do you
got? What are we on? 4, right?
I just did my 5.
Okay, so no, I'll do my 4. I did my 5 was Return of the Jedi, so my 4 is Solo, a Star Wars story.
Okay.
I do really love this movie. I feel like the more I saw it, the better it got each and every time. And I can't say that about like many movies, but I legit like I was worried coming into the movie. Maybe that's why I liked it more. I had lower expectations, but like right when the movie started, I felt like that was Han Solo. Like maybe like it was hard to believe a little bit, like because it's you have to like block out Harrison Ford from your mind a little bit, but I feel like he did like a pretty good job at actually being Han Solo. I feel like Lando, like Donald Glover, I feel like he did a good job at being young Lando, and just I don't everything about the movie. I feel like the movie was just nonstop going action, 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 and even when it did slow down a little bit, like I feel like some of those were even like really good scenes. Like even I don't know if you remember, but they were like all sitting around a campfire, like telling like stories, and
I'm trying to remember.
it's like what I forget his name, but the guy who Woody Harrelson plays.
Oh.
And then his girl was like curly hair, the little monkey. I love that monkey. I forget his name. I want to say Babu Frick, but that's the dude from episode 9.
Yeah.
Not him. But him, Chewbacca, and Han Solo just sitting around the campfire, and they're just like, honestly, like the music playing and everything, like the atmosphere that movie created was so good. And oh crap, dude, that one scene where they're like in like that giant storm in the Millennium Falcon, and like the ships are chasing them, that it just felt like more Star Wars than any of the other Disney movies to me. And I think I love that movie. That's pretty much all I have for it. I would love to see a TV show or something with these characters. Like I do like them a lot. So
you've convinced me to watch it again, because I feel like what I'm thinking is not what is correct. So I know watch it again.
I hope you like it when you watch it again.
I probably will. For me, number 4, New Hope. I've never been a huge fan of this movie. I think it's pretty boring, to be honest.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I rewatched it probably like 4 months ago. Just when I'm thinking like, obviously, what does this movie add? It adds everything to Star Wars. It is Star Wars.
Yep.
But when I think of what redeeming qualities does this movie have, I think dialogue, I think characters overall. I think Leia, Luke, and Han are a great core team.
Yes.
But other than that, I'm like, what great action scenes are there that I really remember? What sort of like crazy events happen? And I think the burning of Luke's home is very graphic. I feel like for the first movie with like the charred corpses, I'm like, okay, for that. But what else do I really remember from the movie if I hadn't watched it 4 months ago? And I probably couldn't remember most of it, to be honest. I think the charisma, I can't speak, charisma that the characters have. I think Leia like standing up to Vader, and then obviously remember Tarkin blowing up Alderaan. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's high up for me just because of what it is and what it started, but I can't put it any higher just in terms of like what other stuff elevated above the movies I had before. If that makes sense.
I have this movie at 3, so I'll just talk about it now.
Okay.
But I do really like this movie. I've heard a lot of people say that they found it really boring, and I don't know why. I just don't feel that way about it. I do like kind of see where you're coming from. Like there isn't like the lightsaber battle is the worst lightsaber battle in Star Wars history. Yeah, it's like moving.
Yeah,
it's like 2 grandpas going at it with a cane. But I don't know. I found this movie like super good, super like everything about it is what you said, Star Wars. Like even Obi-Wan talking about he fought in the Clone Wars, even saying that your father fought in the Clone Wars, like that set up the Clone Wars. Like that's crazy to think about, like how Lucas connected that so well. And like it's just Luke, Han, and Leia, as you said, that they are the best. Like Luke, like I don't like thinking about those 3, just like destroys Rey, Poe, and Finn. Like
Oh,
those
absolutely.
characters like don't even exist when you like think of like Rey or Luke as a character. Like just him like being so curious and like wanting to be a Jedi and being Anakin Skywalker's son and not being actually having to train. And unlike Rey, where she just is immediately the greatest Jedi of all time. And then yeah, I think I'm more of a Han Solo guy than I am a Luke Skywalker guy. Like I just like related more to Han a little bit. Like or at least I wanted to be Han. Maybe I did relate to Luke more, but just I don't know, that movie just I think those characters alone make that movie. And I think the best scenes for me are the scenes where they're actually on board of the Death Star and they're just like sneaking around. They put on the stormtrooper outfit. They get stuck in the garbage compactor and there's that like weird thing in there. I just feel like that movie for some reason is very like I thought for me it was like suspenseful. I thought they were gonna die, all of them. And yeah, I think it set up Vader very well as well. We didn't even see the Emperor in this movie. We just kind of I think we heard about him, but we actually didn't see his face till Empire. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I really like this movie. I think the binary sunset scene always makes me cry for absolutely no reason. It's just a dude looking at a sunset and like he's like, I want to be a hero, I want to go on this journey, and like it makes me tear up. I'm like, why am I crying to a dude in a white robe staring at a sunset? That's really
one
beautiful.
of the most iconic scenes in cinema history. I mean,
the music too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So good.
All right, that's all I have for that.
Because that was your number 3, right? So
that was my number 3.
Yeah.
So is it your turn to do number 3?
I did my number 4, and then you said your number 3.
Yeah.
So wait, you your number 4.
I already did my number 4. It's Solo.
Oh, okay. Well then, okay then. I mean, do you want to?
Your number 4 was New Hope, and mine. That's why I went into my number 3. So.
My number 3 is Return of the Jedi. So I'll try and keep this one brief. I know you put this one lower, but this movie I think has some dead spots for me. I think whenever Luke is on the Death Star and he's talking with Vader and he's like talking to Palpatine, I feel like I wanted those scenes to just happen, and I didn't like the intercut of the space battle as much. Maybe just because I was so invested in that storyline that I was like, oh, it's kind of jarring to go back.
Yeah, they were holding it off.
Exactly, suspense. I think like what you said is really good though. Return of the Jedi is just the most iconic, best possible ending to that trilogy. I mean, just it's so many good lines, so many good like scenes. I mean, I especially think of when Leia gets shot and then she's like hiding the pistol and I'm just like, he says I love you, and she's like, yeah, I know. It's so good. It's like just really good scenes that make up a really great movie in my opinion. I never get bored of watching it.
And I love the ending too. It was just like Luke looking at the fiery Vader, like burning up, and just after that he goes back with everyone, and then the Force Ghost. The newer version, it's actual Anakin from episode 2 or episode 3.
So good.
Yeah, it's just incredible.
Yeah, I'll let you get in your number 2 though. I mean, that movie is just great.
Okay, we might have the same. We do have the same top 2. So I'm gonna go. My number 2 is Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, we do.
I think this movie's good. Like from the very beginning on Hoth, like just even like it's kind of suspenseful. Like you think Luke, like you don't really think Luke's gonna die right here, but he's legit. Like they haven't found him in the snow for like a whole night, and he had been like kind of messed up by that huge beast, and he's in like a scary cold like place, and like Han Solo goes out for him, and then Han Solo flirting with Leia is actually really funny and really
Yeah.
good. Like I love those scenes.
Hmm.
Um, the scenes on Cloud City with Lando, like, is this your number two as well?
Yeah, it is.
You could say whatever you want. You could say stuff too.
I was just gonna say exactly what you said. I think Bespin is probably my least favorite scenes, but that doesn't mean they're bad by any means. Like if I had to choose a least favorite part of the movie, I think it's the part on Cloud City, Bespin, with like all the dialogue between Lando and Leia and everything after they're captured. But other than that, I mean, I still like those scenes. I think.
Dang, those are like some of my favorite scenes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just love Lando's character so much.
That's
I
cool.
don't know.
I think Empire is just like overall a perfect movie. Like I don't
It
think
is.
anybody can argue that. Like every scene, I mean, it's like an hour and a half long, something like that. It's not overly long. Everything is perfectly placed. Imperial March is first used in that movie. You see Vader kill 3 people just by force choking him because he gets upset.
Yeah.
It's so good, and obviously Luke has to train and he still fails, and that's what's so great is Rey and just like doesn't have to train and she just succeeds all the time, but Luke trains hard with Yoda and he still fails against Vader, and it's so important to his character because he like, oh, I'm gonna go over and save my friends, and Yoda and Obi-Wan say you shouldn't do that, but he does anyway, and he fails and he learns from that. It's just so amazing. Like, you no matter what, and the lesson I think that's being taught is that no matter what, even if you fail, you can still get back up and succeed in the end. It's just so great. Like, wow.
Yeah, I do love like just to that fight between like Luke and Vader, like in right below where freaking Han Solo just got stuck in carbonite.
Yeah.
And then he tried to do the same thing with Luke, and then Luke just jumped out, like, and then just everything when like Vader's throwing stuff at him, and like you just can tell Luke, you are not ready to fight Vader right now, and yeah, he still does. And then that scene, dude, I like can't wait to like get married, have kids, and like show them like you are like, no, Luke, I'm your father. Like, I don't even remember myself seeing that as a kid. Like, I feel like I never saw that. I feel like it was just immediately engraved in my head. Like, I don't remember seeing that actually. Yeah, but that's so good, so good. The ending for me too, just them staring out to space. Luke just got his new hand because he got his other one cut off. Just like that's how Last Jedi kind of should have done it. Like like that thing actually made you excited for episode 6. And just like didn't have to do that much. Like it just told a like simple story and like didn't overcomplicate it. Just George Lucas is just a genius, and they should have try to make maybe ask for his help on some of the other movies.
Yes, absolutely. And I'll start with our number 1 here. I'll be brief, so I'll let you actually speak because I feel like I'm talking a lot.
No, you're not. I feel the same way.
Well, we have a lot to say because these are great movies.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith, best Star Wars movie, best soundtrack, I think, out of any of them for sure. And it just like one of the criticisms that I hear a lot for that movie is that Anakin's fall was so so quick. Like he basically was like, Palpatine's a Sith Lord, and then 13 minutes later he goes and kills Mace basically. And I feel like the Clone Wars really helps me in light of that because you get to see his trust in him fade over time, and you get to see why he does what he does. But even without that, I think that Order 66 is one of the most impactful scenes. The music, Anakin's Dark Deeds is the title, just over this scene of terror and these great people being slaughtered. And Anakin crying, like the parallels where there's no words, and Padme standing at the window on Coruscant, and Anakin standing on another window either on Coruscant or Mustafar. I don't think I remember, just crying, and it's just like, oh man, like I'll let you
His
know.
eyes changing yellow.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, what an amazing movie. I might watch it tonight.
Honestly.
Just honestly everything about it, just like how I don't know. I do love the beginning of this movie too. I always forget about it, but it's still really good. They like infiltrate General Grievous's ship and just take on Dooku.
Yep.
And Palpatine tells Anakin to kill Dooku. He's too dangerous. And like Anakin already just like trusting Palpatine too much and like feeding into him too much. Like doesn't even think like that's not the Jedi way, but somehow he thinks that is the Jedi way to kill Mace Windu because he's thinking about, he's like so stuck on Padme, like saving Padme from death because he's had these dreams, you know, about Padme's gonna die and child labor, which she does. But I don't know. It's such a good movie. The scene, it's so funny to me, the scene where the like 5 Jedi go in to fight Palpatine.
Yeah.
And like immediately he does like a corkscrew spin move in midair. Freaking like the Jedis are just standing there like this while they just get stabbed. Like, what are you doing? Like, is he that hard to fight? And seeing Mace Windu in action is so incredible.
I know. I think one of the most amazing parallels is you get, you know, Sidious or Palpatine at the time, I guess, saying to Anakin that the Jedi and the Sith aren't that far apart. Like they're not too different. And Anakin's like, no, the Jedi are selfless. But you get to see in the beginning, Palpatine says that Dooku was too dangerous to be kept alive. And then you see Mace say that Palpatine is too dangerous to be kept alive. So are they really that different? That's what's so crazy, is like the Jedi are so blinded by politics that Mace is like, we're not going to have him stand trial. We're just going to kill him. And that's exactly what Palpatine says. It's just like such a crazy parallel to make it. It kind of explains more, if you like, why Anakin was like, I'm going to just do this. And why he turned, I think, is they really aren't that different in Revenge of the Sith. And Yoda even says that they were blinded by the dark side and they couldn't see what was happening. And it kind of came to fruition. I think it's just so beautiful, that entire tragedy, almost.
Yeah, that's incredible. Just Yoda, everything's clouded by the dark side. They're just like Palpatine behind the scenes doing all these things, even like talking to Anakin at the opera, like telling him the tragedy, Darth Plagueis the wise. Now I'm just want to see something with Darth Plagueis, please. But it just this movie makes me like so upset about the sequels. I don't know why. I just feel like there's so much missed opportunity with Luke having his own Jedi temple.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, please, Disney, like give Dave Filoni like a Skywalker and Grogu, like building the Jedi temple.
Yeah.
Like I honestly, I don't know, super random off topic, but I think I do think Grogu eventually like left and he wasn't like killed in the Kylo Ren attack. I feel like that's too far apart. Like I feel like he eventually probably, maybe we'll find out, but like he eventually like comes back to Mando like fully trained and it's just like another Jedi that's like chilling out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know.
Yeah, man, I think what's so great is that the prospect of Star Wars now with Dave Filoni at the head is looking so bright, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, just, I mean, season 7 of the entire Clone Wars show, amazing. Them bringing back season 7 and Dave Filoni saying, okay, you know what, we're just gonna blow your minds with this season 7.
Yeah.
Like, it just everything. Like Mando, there's no matter who's running Disney, which, you know, I'm not a huge fan of who's running Disney currently.
running Disney as a whole, or like running Star Wars Disney?
Oh, Star Wars Disney. That's what I mean. Lucasfilm, I guess I'll say.
Yeah.
Just people attacking content creators and saying that they shouldn't have cried because it's not manly to cry when Luke Skywalker.
Star Wars theory, yeah. I feel like everyone was crying if you're a Star Wars fan.
Exactly, and whatever his name was, Pablo Hidalgo, I think, was like, "Oh, you shouldn't do that." Like, who are you to say that? Like, I don't know. I don't want to.
Pablo Hidalgo is. I feel like he's kind of stupid.
Well,
like I feel like didn't he work on like the sequels?
Yeah.
Like with people like writing it at least. Like
yeah, I think so.
He doesn't get an opinion, bro.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the people that are in charge of Lucasfilm, but the people that are making the actual Star Wars stuff, and it's great. I think there's a really great, which makes me happy.
Definitely. I think we wrapped up these movies pretty well. I think we did leave out one movie, the Clone Wars movie. I just want to say that I like that movie a little bit. I kind of like it. Like, I don't think it's higher than any of these movies, but I do like it. I'm gonna eat, but that was fun, bro. That was a good episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you didn't, if you hate our list, let us know in the comment section because we're curious. We're curious what your lists are. Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. Our lists were kind of similar though. It's kind of weird. Weird. Except for the fact that like you absolutely like hate Last Jedi, and I'm like, I kind of like it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's like the main drastic part. But yeah, all right.
Yeah, that was good. Peace out,
everybody. That was fun, bro.